Hello everyone, welcome back. This is how you use Incineroar in Pokemon VGC Regulation F. First of all, we got this standard Incineroar set. So this is the obvious safety goggles Terapagos one. This one is like the most common. I think it's important to note that when talking about Incineroar, these sets are very like mix and matchable. Like if you wanted to run like a different support move like Helping Hand, or like it doesn't get Encore, it gets like what else does it get? Helping Hand. I feel like it gets other things. Hold on. I think I'm just stupid. Oh yeah, like Helping Hand, Snarl, Taunt, Will-O-Wisp. You could. Probably not for Parting Shot. You'd probably want to run that over Knockoff or Flare Blitz, but you could do that, just to put that out there. But these are just the ones that I put together. So this is the first one. This is the Incin, the classic Incin. This is the one that a lot of people are using. It's just consistent. It's basic. You have the Fake, you have the Parting Shot, you have the Knockoff, you have the Flare Blitz. This is a very, very common Incin spread that just a lot of people are using right now. So this is a Sitrus Berry one. Now, the key difference is that, other than the fact that the item is different, the key difference is the Terra type, because this one is Terra Ghost and this one is Terra Grass. Now, the reason that this one is Terra Ghost is because you have this safety goggles, so you have the tool to get around Amoonguss. Now, it's important to keep in mind a lot of Amoonguss are going to be clicking like knockoff Spore into you anyway, so the safety goggles isn't so impactful, but the thing is with Grass is you don't want to be completely out of position against Amoonguss, because a lot of the time your Incineroar is how you would deal with Amoonguss. So having this Sitrus Berry allows you to like reasonably, well, I guess Sitrus Berry doesn't actually help against Amoonguss at all, actually, now that I think about it, but Terra Grass allows you to reasonably sit in front of Amoonguss. Sitrus Berry allows you to sit in front of Urshifu, which is what this spread is for. This is a non-bold Incin that would survive Urshifu Surging Strikes. This is the calc on the bold one. Let me just change this quickly. And this is the calc on the one here. Less than 1% chance to KO. Now, if you wanted that to be 0, you can look at the calc. You'd have to up it a lot. So, like, for the 5% chance, you have to up it by, like, 56 points. That is not worth it, I don't think. I think you're probably much better off just running this, because realistically, like, it's a less than 1% chance that you're dying to that. Like, maybe you'll die in a key moment, but I'd rather have those 56 EVs that are doing something 100% of the time and just risk that 0.5% chance, but again, that's up to you. This Incin is the exact same as before, it's just that this one is bold, so this is how much you need to survive Scarf Surging Strikes. Now, a lot of Urshifu are Mystic Water or Sash, so if they were Mystic Water, you'd probably have to put a lot more defense into it, but you guys can calc that yourself. Actually, I'll be nice and give you guys the calc. Okay, so this is kind of crazy. If you want to survive Mystic Water, you gotta run this. Now, here's the calc. This is another less than 1% chance. If you're willing to lose more points in... Okay, you probably don't want to take any into defense, but if you're willing to lose more points out of HP, you can bring this down, and like you'll see the calc, obviously, you have higher and higher chance to be knocked out from that. If you want to be... Like, I would say you probably want it just to be 204. 188 is probably good. But yeah, so this is if you wanted to survive the Mystics Surging Strikes. Now, the thing is with this is, like, you have to keep in mind you have the Terra Grass as well. So it's not like you're completely cooked if you decide to go for maybe like this one or the bold, like the 12 bold one. Because you can Terra Grass out of the Surging Strikes. But a lot of people put a lot of value on surviving the Surging Strikes, because then you can Parting Shot out into something. It just gives your Incineroar generally a lot more utility, and it's a lot harder to remove. So this is one that's probably a little bit less common, but this is a Clear Amulet set. Now, I've seen this, like, mid-ladder. What people will do is they'll have, like, a Trick Room set, or, like, Frigoraph or Cresselia or Porygon, and they'll Trick Room, and then the idea is this Incineroar can help get Trick Room up, but since it's Clear Amulet, you can invest a lot more in its attack. And if you notice, Incineroar's attack is actually pretty good. Like, if we just bring it up to the first bump here, like, this is, like, a reasonable amount to invest in an Incineroar like this, especially because you don't really have to be investing in speed, because you're probably going to be running it on a Trick Room team. But the idea is, like, 165 is not bad, especially if you're clicking moves like Flare Blitz Knockoff, which are not only stab, but also, like, both of them are around 115, 120 base power, which is very, very strong. So, yeah, these are very, very strong moves that you're using, plus like a decent attack stat. You're actually doing really good damage, and Incineroar's defensive typing is so good that it can actually be really difficult to stop, especially if you're using something like Frigoraph or Cresselia that can hit the Urshifu. Your Incineroar really becomes like a really difficult piece to remove. So this is a Assault Vest Incineroar. The logic here is that if you maybe wanted to have something a bit better into Raging Bolt, actually I don't know if this is better into Raging Bolt because you probably want Parting Shot, but there are cases when you would want an Assault Vest Incin. Usually these Assault Vest Incins can justify running a bit more attack because they have the Assault Vest for those points in special defense. So it's really just up to you and what your team specifically wants, but this is another popular Incineroar set. You'd probably use these on a lot of like Tailwind teams, I think, use these, because Parting Shot isn't as valuable, especially when a lot of the time you're like using a hyper offense team, but you still want that Intimidate support to help things like help keep things alive in the early turns of Tailwind. So I think there's a lot of cases for AV Incineroar, but this is definitely one of them, and this is the kind of set that you'd run. I don't think there's really any reason to run anything other than this on AV Incin. Like, maybe you could probably make I don't actually think you can make an argument for any other dark move. This is probably what you'd want to run, like, 99% of the time. Okay, so now let's talk about alternative Pokemon to Incineroar. Now, first we'll talk about the obvious one, which is Hisuian Arcanine. Now, Hisuian Arcanine has been dominating. I made a video on it in my last video. Go check it out if you haven't already, in the cards. But Arc runs two sets. One is a Choice Band set, and one is a Clear Amulet set. So, the Choice Band set typically runs Flare Blitz, Rock Slide, Stream Speed, and Head Smash, and then this one typically runs the exact same thing, but with Protect instead of Head Smash. That's Rock Blast. These are either run Terra Ghost or Terra Grass. Usually the banned ones are Terra Grass, and the clear ones are Terra Ghost. These are very interchangeable. If you want to run Terra Ghost on this, you can. If you want to run Terra Grass on this, you can. But the idea with Hark is that it's just a more offensive version of Incineroar. Like, you have obviously, like, a higher attack stat, you have a better offensive typing in Rock, which is something that is not very, like, easy to come by on offensive Pokemon. Plus, it pairs really well with Pokemon like Fluttermane to give you a really, really strong comfort lead that you can lead into a lot of things. So, on the whole, Hark is very strong. I already talked about it in my last video, so we'll kind of skim over that. So, another one is Landorus. And once again, there are two sets to run Landorus. There's a Choice Scarf, and there is a Choice Band. So, I guess we'll go with the Choice Scarf one first. Usually, the Choice Scarf one runs something like this. So, the logic is with Landorus, is obviously, like, the consistencies here between the three Pokemon are that they're all Intimidators. But Landorus is a good Ground-type Intimidator that also can provide flying damage with Flying Terra Blast. Landorus has, like, kind of struggled in the past to do good flying damage because it doesn't really get any good flying moves, but now Terra Flying Blast, obviously a good attack. Then you have this Earthquake. You can also run, like, Stomping Tantrum, is what a lot of people do. Maybe Stomping Tantrum over Earthquake, depending on what kind of team you're using. But a lot of the time, like, this is the kind of piece, like, that can replace Incineroar on a lot of teams where you need a more offensive piece just because you have that U-turn as well. Like, Arcanine obviously does not have the pivoting potential and does not have the bulk. This Landorus obviously has, first of all, higher attack stat and really, really good bulk. So you can actually click U-turn into things, then you can pivot out. The other one is this. That's the wrong Landorus. The other one is this Choice Band set, Bandorus, that's been used on another, like, one of the other teams, I think. I think this is, it's probably flying as well, actually, because you don't really have any good flying damage. I'd have to, like, relook at the team, but I'm pretty sure this is what they run. The idea just being that you just, like, run it beside something like Torn, just click Tailwind, and just nuke everything in your path. Obviously, the Rillas don't want to eat the Terra Blast, the Incins don't want to eat the Stomping Tantrums, but a lot of them, like, a lot of the Incins are Terra Grass, so you can threaten them with Terra Blast. Like, obviously, Rillaboom's like, Grass type as well, so you can threaten them with Terra Flying Blast, so there's a lot of options that Landorus gives you that Incineroar doesn't, which is why it's a good alternative. I mean, you could probably make an argument for, like, Gyarados. I don't think Gyarados is very good. Like, at all. I really don't think Gyarados is good, but it has Intimidate, so most of the Incineroar counterparts are going to have Intimidate, but I feel like we'll cut it off there before I start going into madness. Well, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.